Okay, girls' night again. So we will be doing Happily Ever After, Season 6, Episode 4, Damage Control. This was different for me because I actually enjoyed a lot of it. So, there's a first time for everything.
I agree.
Allison, you look puzzled by that comment. Not feeling it?
It was like with Angela's surgery, it was like
Oh.
my 600-pound life merged with 90 Day Fiance. It was a little too much of Angela
Well,
inside.
we saw all of her organs, so yes,
It
that's
was
too much whenever
like I
it's...
didn't need to see Angela's
No.
liver.
No, me either. And they just kind of fumble it around like it's a
Yeah, no.
beanbag.
Pounds of boob.
So gross.
So, and they put it on the whiteboard like it's a mathematical equation. I found that pretty comical.
Did I correctly, or did the doctor say she has 5 pounds of boob?
I thought it was on each side.
Same.
Well, yeah, per
Which
side.
would be 10 pounds. So,
well,
a lot of boob.
5 pounds
That's
per
a lot.
boob. That seems like a lot.
That is a lot. Yes.
It is.
No,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Like enough.
Yeah, it's definitely pullable, I guess you could say. So we saw a lot too. Like they had her open her robe, and I mean, if you use your imagination, you can pretty much tell what she's working with. So there you go. What a treat. What a treat.
Lucky us.
So it takes us no time to get into the boobs. And speaking of, we're going to talk about Kalani and Asuelu, who they were my favorite this week by far. I have a theory on this. I think they knew they were boring, so they're like, you know what? We are going to spice this up and we're going to get interesting. And they figured out how to do it. Starts with the sisters going furniture shopping. It comes out that he sleeps in a separate room. Mm-hmm. How big is this house? How many rooms do they have? That was my shocking moment, Allison.
I mean, there's a lot of people in that house, and
there's a lot of people
in a scrap room. So I'm not really quite sure what real estate's like in wherever they are, Utah, but it has to be a pretty big house. You've got the kids, you've got her parents, you've got her, and now Kalini, and now Asuelu has like some dedicated room. It's like, okay, it's a big house.
It's a lot of people. B&B.
I'm not shocked that he sleeps in the other room. I thought it was funny how she was like, yeah, he just comes into my room whenever he wants to back to his room. Like, wow, that sounds...
There's issues. There's issues, but I want to know where it's coming from. Who is choosing? Is she saying go sleep in the other room? Is he like, I don't want to come sleep in here? Or is the issue that they live with the parents? I don't know.
I bet it's all him. He doesn't want to sleep in there. I think if she had her way, he would sleep in there. Because she's asking for the romance. She's asking for him to be around, to make an effort. So I think this is all him.
Allison?
I think he's lazy. And like, I mean, part of it is like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's nice to have your own space sometimes too, maybe that's part of it. I thought it was funny how it's not funny. It's kind of sad how she was like, well, there has to be a room for Asuelu, like for him to make his mess in there. Like, it's one less thing that she needs to take care of if he's like all up in her business. And like, again, just proves the theory that Asuelu is the third child. Yes. And she talks about this a little bit more in detail when she starts kind of confessing to Kalini. Like, they go from like laughing hysterically and breaking things in the store to crying on this like showroom bed. It was a
very strange.
But she's expressing the fact that she feels like she has another child to take care of and they're not actually in a relationship. And I mean, like, duh, like, I don't know who hasn't seen that coming 100 miles away, but I don't really necessarily think, I mean, her kids are so close in age and they're so young, and having little kids is really, really hard. And I can't imagine then having some adult man child to take care of on top of that. Like, that would not, first of all, that would not happen in my household, but like, I just can't even imagine dealing with somebody who insists on being like that, I guess.
She is 25. Does she not seem much older than that?
She seems like my age.
She seems like 35.
Yeah, she seems a lot old. So it just might be even more contrasting for how different they are, because
Right.
she just is.
How old is he?
Probably about the same age, if I had to guess. I did get his age, but when they showed 25, I was like, wow, I don't remember her being that young. That is young to have two small kids like that. And
that's younger than Julia.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah, let that sink in.
Wow.
So, yeah, the conversation with the sister in the front, I was just waiting for the token, like, sales associate to come up and they give the whole story. That didn't happen, but that's okay because they had the heart to heart. She opens up to the sister and then she basically sits him down. And I mean, this was quite a conversation. Let's talk about romance. Now, there's a difference between talking about romance and saying, like, do you want me to put a wig on and you can pretend like you're banging somebody else? Because I don't think that's the same thing. And I agreed with him a little bit when he's like, wait, you want me to pretend you're someone else and that's romantic? I don't think so. I was a little perplexed where she was going with the conversation. Is this a conversation about our sex life, or is this a conversation about your maturity as, in our relationship? B&B?
I get the feeling that he was like super, super inexperienced.
Oh, yeah.
Is just what she was talking.
You can tell.
Seemed so confused. Like, just the whole thing of role playing was like so foreign to him.
Yes. He doesn't come across as a guy that has a lot of moves. You can usually tell a mile away. I think he's pretty, Jack Rabbit-ish. So, Allison?
I mean, there are a lot. So I have a lot of feelings about this. I feel like there's a lot of issues going on here, and this may be just one of them. I feel like without some sort of intimacy, like, you're just roommates. I mean, they don't stay in the same place. And things, when you're dealing with kids all the time, like, you just, again, become kind of roommates. So it's like, maybe that's not enough for her, maybe it's not doing it for her. Like, she even said, like, when he comes in sometimes, like, it's not about her, it's all about him. And like, she's 25, she's way too young to like settle for some subpar intimate relationship with her husband. I mean, if I kind of was like, good for you, like, speaking up and saying, like, maybe this is what I want, or maybe we should try this or whatever, because a lot of people don't have the balls to do that and
sure, it's a hard conversation to have.
Yeah. And I think it's good that she's trying to like put all that on the table. But to answer your question, I don't know that, like, it's several things happening here, and I think that that's a big one. She feels as if she's his mom, not his wife, and that's a big part of that.
But I do think there is an element of when you have two kids that young, you're in mom mode full time. It's not even so much him. It's just that's your life at this point. I don't think it's that different. And I feel like instead of having like the role play conversation, you just walk into the room with your wig on and act like a stewardess or whatever you're going for. You don't bring it up. You just kind of, which, how can she get a wig on with all that hair is another question I have. Like, how can you do that?
That's true, but I feel like it would go right over his head. Like, if she didn't bring it up, I feel like he wouldn't get it. Like, I don't know that he's the brightest bulb in the pack.
He would be able to play along, but at least, I don't know.
I don't think like this. I think he'd have a hard time.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think
it will. I'm having visuals and they're not pleasant.
It's not.
No. Okay. So, she's trying to do the role play. Then she's like, and this, I guess, I mean, it's 2021. This shocked me. She's like, do you know what a sex toy is? And he says, no. And I mean, this was interesting. So she tries to explain. And his response was, I'm not putting my ding dong inside that, which... Okay.
So, like, not even...
Don't say that, please.
Maybe not using something like that before, but to not even know what it is?
To not... Yeah. Do you have the
like
internet,
I said,
dude?
Inexperienced.
Yeah. God. So
And why are we calling it my ding dong? Like,
I don't know, but
like again,
I'm
how
he's
dying
immature.
inside a little bit.
Because he's very
Like,
immature.
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
it was a tough conversation.
there's no wonder why they need help in their sex life when he calls it his ding dong.
There you go.
It's not good.
To all the
guys.
men watching, never
do
call
that.
it your ding dong.
Do not do that.
Like cringe.
It's not a
I'm
good
cringing
reaction.
just imagining this.
Oh God. So they finally settle on he can be her kayak boy, which I thought was cute, and I could see that working. I hope the kayak situation works out. I don't know if he has to bring the boat in to make it, full effect, but do what you got to do, right? If you need to just drag the boat right into the bed and, walk it around a bit, great. But I agree with him. I'm going to agree with him before he gets mean. He says, well, I think romance is like when I bring you pizza. Now, I agree.
Same.
Part of romance is saying, like, let me take care of you. Let me bring you a snack. So I can be romanced with a snack, B&B. Can you?
Oh, absolutely. Give me a pizza in bed over flowers.
Yes. Or
Any
an
day.
ice cream. Mm-hmm. Allison, is it the same thing?
No, I'm like on a
any
endless diet, so I would be like, I'm not touching that. I am definitely a traditionalist when it comes to stuff like that. Like flowers, tell me I look nice every once in a while, and you've got your day made.
Yeah, acknowledgement I think is also important. So yeah. I felt like the conversation was going in too many directions. It was very awkward at times. His verbiage didn't help. He gets very upset because she can. Did you even know there was a brother? I didn't know there was a brother.
No idea.
Yeah, because she's like, well, my brother brings me pizza sometimes, and I don't know. It comes down to him being mean, but I also think like she didn't help the situation. Allison?
No, I mean, it was a little passive aggressive. I think
it could have been funny, but she didn't deliver it in a funny way.
No, and I don't really understand like his overreaction to that particular comment.
I didn't either.
That was really, really bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know. I was really unfortunately, like, it's relatable in certain ways where you have somebody who's upset with you showing emotion, or being upset or crying, right? Like she was clearly upset. He was trying to like shame her for some reason for crying. Maybe that's just not how he grew up. But kind of invalidating her feelings and not letting her feel like she could express herself in front of him is something that is really damaging, I think, because then, you're going into a situation where she's just not going to tell you anything at all that's bothering her or that she feels a certain way about, and that's just a road to destruction in a relationship.
Yeah, it's not going well for them, and I don't see it getting better. I don't know. Maybe getting their own place will help. There could be something to that. I understand it's kind of catch-22 because she's like, should I even get a place with this guy if we don't get along? But could it help? I think it could. So
I think it's a really bad idea. Mm-hmm. Nothing gets better when there's more pressure and responsibility financially. And it's not Kalani's responsibility to teach Asuelu and nurture and baby him. He is a grown-ass man. He needs to get it together and stop being crazy and, listen to her and really genuinely show that he cares about her, or else it's just going to be a disaster, in my opinion.
Well, we will see. Anything to add about that, you guys?
No. Nope.
Hopefully they get some, I don't know, vibrators or kayaks and fix whatever the problem
all of
is.
The above.
So, good luck,
kayak
guys.
Vibrators.
Yes. Vibrating
Kalani
kayak.
also likes cold shoulder tops. I feel the need that
I did notice that.
I should point that out because I have made such a big deal of it
with Tiffany.
Yeah. So yeah, Kalani loves her some shoulder bearing tops as well.
Her chest in her ITMs in that yellow
Massive.
shirt.
Massive.
It is so
can't-
distracting.
They're just, and I don't want to, and then you know what? This might make sense because she is 25. They're as round as beach balls. So I'm like, you've got Angela with, the tube sock look. And this girl, I don't know what she's doing to support her chest because it's almost all the way out. So you can tell she doesn't have a full bra on. But
gravity is certainly on her side.
It has not hit her yet.
Yeah.
There's no way to wear a bra in that yellow dress. There's just not.
No, she can't be because fuck. I just stare. I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's right when he says pom-poms because those things
you can't not stare at it. I'm like, why my eyes just automatically draw it?
I'm distracted. I can't imagine how men are when they see that. Jesus.
Or like how does she not worry constantly that something's just gonna fall out? I mean,
yeah.
If it does, it does. I guess I don't think.
Falls out.
Yep, there you go. TLC will be like, ooh, little extra ratings for us this week. People might be tuning in for the peep show. So, but yes, she has a very specific cut of shirt and she wears it a lot. I think she knows what she's comfortable with. So, which I think she has pretty good style. So,
yeah.
So we'll go on to Angela and Michael, who they were actually a little this week. You know why I'm bored with them is because they have teased this bathtub scene, and I'm just every week that it's not shown, I'm very disappointed. So until I get her in the bathtub with the candles lit, doing sexy time, I'm gonna be upset.
Ugh,
so
I don't want to see that. Well, thank you.
I do.
I want to see that as much as I wanted to see Angela's liver, honestly.
Yeah, it's not good. So my favorite quote from her this week, because she always has one, she says, I was always known as big tit Angie, and I will always be known as big tits Angie. So
yes, the one thing you want to be known for is your boobs. What does that say about you?
And that tattoo on her boob. Ooh.
Yeah, it's going to be modified. Maybe it will be, when you fold up a little dollar bill and you can make George Washington's head look like a mushroom. I wonder if there's going to be any kind of effect like that. Like a fold out.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, we'll have to do arts and crafts another time. So.
Is that what you guys did for fun growing up in Maine?
Yeah, there's not much going on up here. Not much to do.
Oh my god. Yeah, I would have told them to chop it right off.
Get
rid of that thing.
Yes, let's get rid of that.
Yeah, it was bad. Bad tattoo.
Yes. Now, do you think it was weird the FaceTiming the doctor had with Michael? This is all like TLC just being like, oh, let's add some footage here, B&B?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Can you put my husband at ease? No, I'm your doctor. I'm not here to put your husband at ease. I'm here to cut you the hell open. If you want to put your husband at ease, that's your problem. I'm not paid for this.
And it's not even at ease like the complications of the surgery or the risks. It's literally the ease of how much, booby I'm going to get to enjoy after the fact. That's not the doctor's job. Allison?
Bizarre.
I don't know. Okay. Let's take a step back.
Yes, tell me.
The whole situation in that office is what is happening, and I would not trust any of these people to touch a thing on my body. Never mind put instruments inside of it and staple things and modify boobs and tattoos and whatnot. First of all, your medical whatever assistant lady is wearing this
again
Dallas Cowboy cheerleader uniform.
Again,
the fringe crop jacket.
What is that? What are you wearing? First of all,
no fringe in the medical office.
What? She's where?
She's not a doctor.
LA. Yeah, but yikes! Why are you there? And then the whole FaceTime, it's just. And the fact that she was smoking that morning and they didn't notice that or didn't ask her that or I'm just what kind of a scam are they running? I would not feel comfortable in that office. I would not let them touch me. that's how I feel about that entire situation. And as far as him FaceTiming, I mean, I don't know. Like, I've had a lot of experience in this COVID world of having to have conversations with people on the phone or on FaceTime with doctors. And I mean, that might have made it a little bit more normal. But yeah, like the conversation was a little strange.
No, I agree. So that yeah, they show the surgery. They try to make it dramatic about her waking up. None of that was interesting.
No.
Yeah. Anything else on them?
No, they're trying to suck everything out of them as they
Yes.
possibly can.
We've gone 4 episodes on this surgery.
Yep.
I'm glad it will be over because I want to see what will happen next.
It's not over. There's no way it's over.
We need to move on. Like we've done the surgery now for what, 4 episodes? Like,
you know what they're going to do is they're going to circle back to her hanging on to the idea of having a baby, which is even more outrageous.
Yeah,
and it's not
happening.
Even when the biggest problem.
I don't know what storyline even more.
I know. It's like the biggest problem isn't even the fact that her husband's on a different continent. It's the fact that she's 56 years old, and biology would say something else about her having I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next with that.
Even if she could have a child.
Right.
Even if she could have a child, she is so high risk.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's not a good idea.
No.
For every reason we can possibly imagine. So we'll see. So moving on to Elizabeth and Andre. These are terrible people. They're terrible. I really dislike all of them.
Allison? The whole family sucks.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I am exhausted by all of them. I am not interested in these clowns one bit. I think Andre needs to slow his roll and shut up and roll up his sleeves and do some work. I think the whole situation was totally staged.
Yes, me too.
And
it's impossible for people to communicate that poorly. It's not humanly possible to not understand who's doing what.
Can you imagine for just 1 minute if your new employee came to work on his first day and looked around and was like, "This is all mine," and I'm in charge of everything, and this is all my money, but I'm not lifting a finger, like, or arguing with somebody about what is going on here, or just being as difficult and like just I don't even know how to explain it as Andre was. And then even just having conversations like they were having in this house, I was like, this would not happen in real life.
Chuck should have stepped in and told everyone to shut up, is what should have happened.
No
B&B?
Agreed. But, of course, for the storyline, they got to make it dramatic, and it's got to be the least professional situation I've ever seen in my entire life. Also, when Sister What's-Her-Nuts shows up.
Becky, I think?
Yeah. So Libby told Becky that she was there. Okay, did Libby
She's
just
stirring it up? Yeah.
Correct. Did Libby call up Becky to stir the pot? The answer is yes.
Yes. No.
1000% yes.
Mm-hmm. Listen, and I'm sorry, but Charlie is terrible. He is entitled because his dad has this business and got him out of 8 criminal charges, and he's like, I've been working here for 3 years. Well, you only have this job because you're your dad, so be quiet. I can't even decide who I hate the most, but they're all terrible.
The dad is definitely an enabler when it comes to Charlie.
I mean, what's going to happen when he dies? And there's all this money left over. None of them are going to speak to one another. They're all going to fight over money.
Yep.
They're all going to beat each other up. It's just such a mess. And listen, I have said it before, I will say it again. I am not watching the Family Libby. Okay.
No.
If they have a spinoff, I am not watching it. I can't stand them. When they come on the TV, I am like, oh, I wish I could fast forward through it. There was just way too much Family Libby this week. Way too much. It was awful.
Because there's nothing else going on.
No. Otherwise, we're
Oh.
going to be watching the three of them at home with the toddler, having dinner. So, I wouldn't mind watching them talk about spicing up their sex life because I have a feeling they get pretty wild. So I'd like to hear what boundaries they push.
The thing is, the thing is, I don't even want to think about that. Is like the whole thing was absolutely outrageous. I'm tired of them. I can't deal with it. But like they don't want Andre to be part of their family business. However,
Correct.
he is part of the family business. So when he's there, they're like, well, why are you here? Like, you're not doing anything. But they don't want him to go to Chuck to have him loan him money to have his own business either. So it's like, what way do you want it? Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, either you want him there or you don't. Like,
exactly. Charlie says,
worse?
"Oh, you're lazy and you want handouts." He's there to be productive and working. So you're talking out of both sides of your mouth is basically what it comes down to.
And Andre,
how do you resolve this? What's the resolution?
Andre wasn't asking for a handout. He was asking for a loan.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he expected $100,000 just willy-nilly without having to pay it back. I think he understood that he had to pay it back, but he also didn't mention anything about interest or anything, but who knows, that could have been selective editing. But
correct.
This Charlie idiot is...
I hate Charlie. I think he's the worst. If I'm going to label someone as the worst, I'm going to say it's him.
Yeah.
I thought, they got there and they like fist pounded and I was like, oh, maybe it'll be all right. Nope.
Well, and part of the problem was the conversation that Andre and Chuck had in the truck on the way to the house, I thought was a good conversation. Mm-hmm. The only problem was whenever Chuck said we, Andre thought he was saying me and you. He's saying we, meaning the family as a whole.
Business. Yep.
This is what was causing the confusion. Otherwise, that would have been a great conversation, but he kept saying we, and I think it was mislabeled, and I think it wasn't understood. So,
and I don't know if I entirely blame Andre for that.
No, I don't either. It's he's a little too excited, I think, but the communication just it's so bad. And there's a bunch of people trying to cause trouble because they like to do that. So
it's a hot mess, like the whole thing. Like he's being totally unreasonable, and like I think that Chuck truly wants him to be successful, and it's like, shut up and listen. You don't know everything. You don't. And you have this person here who's willing, even though you've been extremely rude to him and his kids, he's willing to show you kind of how this goes for your good. But he doesn't want to listen to that. It's like Andre is going to go and he's going to do what he wants to do. And it's at a certain point, Chuck should just be like, fine, go do what you want to do. Come back when it doesn't work out,
Or like, why don't you work through your wife?
Right.
Like,
that's
why don't you two work together and do something? She's like, I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom now and do all this multitasking. What multitasking? You're just not going to work anymore. I don't.
Good luck with that.
With her brown eyeshadow, that is
so weird. This bitch needs a lesson in eyeshadow blending.
It almost reminds me of those like stick-on nails where you can just like roll it out in one thing. Do they make that as eyeshadow and she just like it's a peel and stick on her eyelid?
They do.
Because that's almost.
They do. I
used
to
do brilliant idea.
Like 7.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks bad though. It looks bad.
It looks awful.
Okay. So I think enough about them. We'll see what happens. I think more fighting. I picture like a Family Chantel-esque, like maybe food fight or something stupid like that. So we'll see. Okay, Jovi and Yara. Now, I have a feeling this might get controversial because I have to keep telling myself, newborn baby, remember what it was like. Remember, don't judge. But oof, I don't know. First of all, they start with her dressed like Sandy from Grease when she comes walking up the hill. That was all I thought. She looks great, but it was an interesting all black attire. There's 2 types of moms. there's ones that, you know, micromanage the babies, and there's ones that are pretty relaxed. And I think we know which one she is. Allison, your thoughts?
Yeah, she definitely is a little postpartum emotional, I would say still.
Yes. Yeah.
It seems like it's not like the baby looks like it's brand new still. You know how they kind of look that way for
I
a
was
little bit.
thinking 3 or 4 weeks old when they were at the
Yeah.
restaurant,
Yeah,
maybe at
I
the
mean,
most.
really, really early still. She looks phenomenal.
Mhm.
But I think clearly she's dealing with a little bit of postpartum depression. Her emotions are not, they don't seem regulated to me. Um, I I think that there comes a time when you are a new parent and you're doing it for the first time that you do realize that you need to let other people handle your baby the way that they handle them, and do things the way that they do them, and the way that you do it is not always the only way. Yeah, like the dad might put on the onesie backwards, but like he put on the onesie, so just zip your lip and move on with your day.
Life
Like,
goes on, laugh it
exactly,
off.
like you learn to
Yes.
pick your
Yes.
battles. However, when Jovi was like, well, I fell asleep and she was just like, leaning, and kids fall sometimes, like, that's just life. And I was like, okay, maybe she
I
has a
was
point.
on his side the entire episode. I was on his side the whole episode until he's like, well, if I fall asleep and the kid tumbles down to the floor, then,
Oh,
it has to happen every so often. I was like, Jovi, you lost
kids
me.
fall.
Can't do it anymore.
What's the
So
problem?
you're
I was
dealing
like,
with complete opposite sides of parenting. They're not,
yeah.
they'll figure it out. They get along fine. It's almost kind of comical. B&B, what did you think?
Well, I mean, I'm obviously not a parent, so I've never been through this. So, but I feel like if I were a parent, I would probably be like Yara. So, I don't want to criticize her. I'm sure being a new mom is so stressful on top of being in a new country. And in the back of her mind, her husband is leaving for what is it, a couple months.
Two
So,
months, I
she's
think.
going
Yeah.
through the ringer. So,
Yep.
I tried not to be too judgmental watching this. There's definitely some issues going on, and I felt sorry for her.
Yeah, she's like, she puts her makeup on with the kid in her arms. She's cleaning the counter with, like, it's like,
That's
put
impressive.
the
Like,
baby down. Like,
yeah.
it's okay. It's okay. So I don't know.
It was kind of funny though when she gave her to Jovi and she started crying. Like, newborns can like when I had my daughter, she could like smell when I was nearby. I swear to God. Like, I would walk in the room and she would be dead asleep and she would just be like, "Where are
Oh,
you?" Like, and
Yeah.
I think that
that
that's just like a biological thing, especially when they're that little. So like I can certainly relate with that. But like you can't, like, I'd put my baby in the holder and like try to walk around and do different things with both of my kids actually, because otherwise you'd just be sitting on a couch all day. But um like, I don't know, like you do have to make time for yourself. It's very easy to lose yourself, and any time for yourself, whether it's even just like going to the bathroom or taking a shower, like all that stuff is really important, and you are still important as an individual. And Yara
Yes.
seems to not be handling that very well.
No, I agree. And it's still very new. So
Yeah.
and I mean, all in all, I think they do a good job, and we're watching two people figuring it out, and that's, I think, how it would be if, any normal couple were on camera with a newborn. You're like, what am I doing? So
I mean, listen, I could not be on camera with a newborn. First of all,
I
I
would
would
not look like
scare,
that.
yeah, I would scare away the viewers for sure. I did not, I still don't look like that 5 months later. I will never look like that. And I lost half of my face. After I had my daughter last time, I got Bell's palsy. So I would have been on camera with like half a face, like half of my mouth, like, and the other half,
Really?
like, yeah, it was a disaster. So like, kudos to her for even attempting to like look human and like be on a national TV show postpartum. I
Yeah.
did not look like that. There's like fluids everywhere. It's just a mess. It's not cute. Yeah.
No, sure. And I mean, Tired has its own very own unique look that no matter what you do, you can't really mask it. So
and you're emotional and because you're tired and
yeah. I do think, and she kind of falls into this category. We have a lot of women in this show who seem to think like they have it harder than everyone else. And it's like, well, part of it is just life, unfortunately. That's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's leaving for 2 months, but also like you don't have to work and they don't seem to have any financial struggles. So, I think she'd be very surprised what shoes some other people are in, and it's hard to see past your own existence, and I do get that. So I don't know.
Did you notice the tag on the stroller?
I did not.
It said "Hot Mom."
There you go.
I was like, okay.
I mean,
a Hot Mom stroller. I bet that thing was pricey too. I could just tell.
Yeah, I am not about that life. Like you will never see me pushing a stroller that costs $1,200. I'm just like,
what?
There is no need for that. Oh, that's a thing.
Some are very expensive. So I don't know. My kids always climbed out of strollers. I mean, I know this was a newborn, but I didn't get a lot of use out of my stroller. So
I have, but like it is the dirtiest, most disgusting thing ever. It gets dirty. It gets put in the back of cars, airplanes. Like I am not spending $1,200. My son chews on it. Like it's just, they throw up everywhere. Like it's no. I'm all set.
Hot Mom stroller. I'll have to research that because now I'm curious of
I
the
thought
price.
I was like, what is that? I mean, if she was gonna have a stroller, it was gonna be a Hot Mom stroller. So
yeah, I wonder what else we're gonna get for content for them. Like if we're gonna see any of the part where he's gone and what that's like. I mean, part of me is like, this sounds really boring, but I don't know. B&B, what would you like to see from them?
Well, what do we think is that big secret that he's gonna tell her next episode?
Good question. I mean, if it's bad, I would have to think it's like some kind of longer, being away longer.
That's what I was kind of thinking too. Maybe he told her like he'd be gone for a month and it turns into 2 months or something with the quarantine situation.
I mean, I get what she's saying, and I can't tell if she's kidding or not, but when she's like, just don't go to work, it's like, okay.
Sure.
He has to go to work, and no one feels bad for him having to be away. I just don't understand this.
Who's gonna pay for that Hot Mom stroller?
You gotta pay for your Hot Mom stroller, and you know, I have a feeling she spends a lot of money on her. Her and Angela are not going to the same hairstylist. I'll put it that way.
They're not.
I think there's a swing in the cost.
A little bit.
Very different types of blondes.
One person does their hair at home, the other goes to a professional salon.
Yeah, one does it out of a box.
I would agree with that. So, okay, another, usually I don't like them. Mike and Natalie, I found very interesting this week. Bring me more of this. And I'm going to go out of sequence here, guys, because I have to get this off my chest. Do you think that Mike fucks his mother? How do we know two of these? How do we know two of these now? That conversation with the mother was the strangest thing I have. It was flirty. It was weird. It had little
it was flirty.
cutesy lines between each other. They call each other at 4:10 every morning to talk about life. I was dying during this conversation.
What did you call her when she picked up the phone? He was like, "Hey, like something Saurus." I was
like, Dinosaurus or whatever. I couldn't hear what he said. But then he called her and he says it in that flirty voice. He's like, yeah, you're the big bad mama bear. And I had to hide under my covers. I was so
now that you
uncomfortable.
Say it, yeah.
My mind was not going there, and now I can see it.
No. Same.
Oh, and then, I mean, you guys know how he gets with this Thanksgiving food talk. So he's like, what are you making for dinner? And she's listing off all the Thanksgiving food, and he was getting warm. I could tell. This was an odd conversation.
I'm so uncomfortable.
He's like,
fucks his mother.
I do. I think so, yes. We push each other's buttons. You do not talk about that with your parent. Button pushing.
No.
Oh my God. I really enjoy her haircut though.
Yeah. Oh man, it is long.
It's not even
Guys,
long. It's just the stupid freaking cut.
This was how the conversation ended. He says to her, "Are you going to behave?" And she said, "Probably not." Now, if that isn't flirty chat, I don't know what is.
Ew, I'm so upset.
Oh my really God. My mind is, Lauren, shame on you for even thinking this. My mind did not know this.
I don't know. They have a, as he put it, unique relationship, and I believe that. I think it's very unique. Why do you think she wanted to stop the wedding, you guys?
I mean, it's all making sense now.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm bought into this theory.
And aren't
I'm
they
all
from,
in.
Like, Podunk, Oklahoma or some bullshit?
It might be, you know, a little bit more acceptable where they are. So,
wow.
I mean, we can go back in time and talk about the Mike and Natalie fight, but I had to get to that. So, yeah, let that sink in. She does the weird. Okay. Natalie does the weird apology dance. They are so weird. They're just very strange people.
She is nuts. I mean, there's no other way to say it. She is absolutely unhinged. I don't know what her deal is, but she is crazy. She is a crazy, crazy person. There's something wrong with her.
But if we were to recap what happened in this fight.
Yes.
She says something about him receiving a nude text from a friend, right?
A while ago.
I still need to know more about that. I need to know how she found out about it. I need to know what the picture was and how good of a friend this was. And I have a lot of questions they need to address. But so she gets mad about a nude photo and makes a little snide remark. She was picking a fight. But he then leaves her at a hotel and somehow she's apologizing to him. Now that is flipping the script like you read about. What is she apologizing for? Picking the fight?
Yes.
I hate this. I hate him. I hate.
And then when
she treats her.
And when she goes to say, "Oh, do you forgive me?" And he goes, "Maybe tomorrow." Are you kidding me?
She's begging for forgiveness over him getting nude pictures from somebody and leaving her at a hotel.
2 hours away.
Yeah. Allison, you don't feel the same way?
I don't know how I feel. Like, honestly, okay, like, the whole conflict is like beside the point, but if we're going to talk about what she said, apparently, right, like the way he makes it seem is like this happened years ago, like it has no relevance, like they weren't even together, like, or it was just a really long time ago, and like you need to let it go. You need to stop bringing this stuff up. Clearly she uses these types of things as ammunition against him, because she had no problem in saying that he was like, you know, hooking up with his friend in the shower on her wedding
night.
That was
fiasco. True. Right.
So she keeps these things in her pocket to use when she gets angry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not okay either.
No, I'm not a fan of that at all.
He shouldn't have left her there. She was wrong for bringing that up. And if she really wants to have a conversation about it, maybe not doing it on TV. Like, I can see why he would be annoyed because it makes him look a certain way. I don't think he's a great person. I think she is absolutely a basket case. Her forgiveness dance, I was like,
it was so
old are you?
Weird. Yeah, it was weird. And if you're gonna like throw something in his face, how would it be like, remember the day you decided to cancel our wedding, that morning of our wedding? Maybe throw that in his face. I'd be okay with that.
That's a little more relevant at this point, but like and then he like barked at her. I was like,
that's right. I forgot there was some weird noises being made.
So he's a barking motherfucker.
Yes, we've come to a conclusion.
I just don't understand these people. They're so weird. And he hates her. Like, there is just
Oh,
no
yeah.
way around it.
Yep.
It's not like her at all.
He's like, maybe I'll forgive you in like 2030. Like, I don't know. Like, and it's not, at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal. Like, move on. She did her forgiveness dance, like, let it go. But they don't like each other.
No. And I guarantee you, like, his commute, he claims is 3 hours. I bet he works like 45 minutes away.
Just to be away from her.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm just going to drive through, you know, Washington State and then, you know, around in Oregon, and then I'll head home. So,
right.
I'm calling
3
BS.
hour.
A 3-hour commute. Every day he's driving 6 hours. That's somebody who hates their wife. So,
like, how do you even bring home any money after you spend all that money in gas? I don't understand. With a truck.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I have nothing written down for Tiffany and Ronald. Nothing.
Immature.
I think the main takeaway here, and please let me know, Kevin wants me to do the forgiveness dance. It was something like this.
It was definitely it went side to side. No, that's too fluid. It was very stiff, like the bunny hop almost. So
yeah, it was very weird. It was so
very
weird. Kevin liked it. He's begging.
She did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry. Comments take priority for Dave Cullinane. I think the main takeaway from Tiffany, in parentheses, not Ronald, because he's not on the screen in the beginning, and I still don't understand that, is that nothing is going to make her happy when it comes to Ronald. Like, the guy got a job, and you don't care. You're like, great, you got a job, but like, who cares? Because da 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 da. And I was like, hey, you said you wanted him to have a job, and now you don't care that he has a job. Like, again, what do you want? Like,
this woman will make everything sound like everything is on it. Oh, well, how far did I fly? How hard do I work? And no one claps for me. And oh my, she exhausts me to no end. He's no prize. Don't think I'm not really a big fan of his, but she just irks me. B&B.
These people bore me to tears. I say that about one couple every single week, but these people just do absolutely nothing. I honestly would rather watch Asuelu and Kalani
That's pretty bad.
9 times out of 10 rather than these people. These people, their storyline is just freaking awful. It's nothing.
I agree. It's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to get here anytime soon. He's not going to get approved to come over. So it's just going to be them Skyping with, you know, and her son he's so well behaved. She has such a good kid, and I'm almost like confused by it.
He looks just like her too.
I know, and him talking about them fighting.
It makes me sad.
And dad and mom fight, and I'm like,
when he first said my dad, I thought he was talking about like his dad. He's like, I haven't seen my dad in like 6 months, and I was like, oh, that's too bad. And then I realized he's talking about this guy as dad. Oh, strange. Yeah. We see that a lot, though.
Yeah, yes. She did that from day one. She was a little bit Nicole-ish in that regard.
Oh, and, yeah.
I mean, I think it's great that you want your child to have a relationship with the person that you're marrying, but to push it that hard and to make him believe that that's his dad, like, let them have their own relationship, and he can call him Ronald or whatever. But like, this poor kid is gonna, he's gonna have so many issues when they break up. Like, I feel so bad for him. I really do. He's such a sweet kid.
Yep. No, I agree. But I mean, I don't have anything.
Yeah, the kids suffer in this situation, unfortunately.
Totally. Yeah. So we'll see. I wish he didn't cancel the tickets, because I'd like to see the whole them traveling there. He seems to have a really good relationship with, you know, I'm blanking on the child's name and I feel bad now. But when they were Skyping, you know, and
Carly?
showing him, yes, he really takes to them, even if it's just over the screen. So, and I admire that, because I said before, sometimes putting your time in is more than, you know, throwing a couple dollars at somebody. But they're just not going to work out. You can just tell.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. Anyway, we'll see. Anything else to add on these two?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Oh, I will say I saw her post something on Instagram about her shoulders being shown all the time, and she was being playful with it. So I do like that. Like her cold shoulder top was slanted, so only one shoulder was out, and she's like, I know everyone's really concerned about my one covered up shoulder, and I'll make sure to not do it again. So you know what?
So she's in on the joke.
My God, you have a sense of humor, and I never knew. So
that's refreshing.
Okay, Brandon and Julia. I
forgot about them.
Yeah, these two. I was watching this and I said, I don't suggest this often, but maybe they should have a baby just so she can have something to do, because this girl is bored. Allison?
Don't make me say it again. Don't make me say it again. Enough with the freaking farm. Enough. We know that you're not an indentured servant. You brought it up 8 million times. Enough. I'm tired of hearing about you feeding pigs and horses and cows, and like I'm just done. Now, the good thing that happened with Julia this episode was that she took initiative, and she went and spoke to somebody about the thing that it is that she feels passionately about doing as her occupation, which I don't think I've ever seen anybody from this show ever do. They all just kind of like sit around and whine and complain that they can't go get jobs because they don't have a green card, whereas she actually took initiative and went and spoke to somebody about it. Whether or not like her dreams or visions will come true is quite another thing, but I was kind of at least like, well, she's doing the thing. So
yeah, she wore jeans to the wedding planning. It's not an interview because the woman's not hiring, as far as I was understanding. This was just she was willing to have a conversation with her.
It was like a mentorship conversation.
Yes. So I don't know. I don't
How
see her
does
being.
She is she just planning on working when she gets her green card? Because she can't work right now without a green card, right?
Right.
So she's just thinking ahead for when she does get her green card.
Yes.
Okay.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, good for her. I think wedding planning would be so much fun, but they obviously don't live in the right area for that she could make it a sustainable career, I feel like.
I agree. But I don't see it.
But at least she was, like Allison said, she was taking initiative.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You know, get out, and networking is important. And basically what she was doing by even going there was networking. I'm not sure if she knows what that job would entail. I really think she thinks it's like picking out pretty dresses and flower arrangements. I don't think she has an idea of all the nitty gritty. And
there's so much coordination that goes into it.
Right. I don't even know how one would start getting into that. So I guess who am I to make suggestions? I don't know. Go look into catering companies. I don't know. But
I have no idea.
I mean, it's project management. I'm trying to think. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like this woman who was working the bridal store, is she a full wedding planner? Like you go see her and she handles everything? Or is she just the dress lady?
I took it as she was the wedding planner.
Yeah.
She talked like it, but she didn't really get into much about it. I don't know. I was kind of confused, but like Allison said, hey, the girls, you know, she's probably just happy to get out of the house.
Yep. 5 seconds without Brandon.
Brandon. So she tries to have a conversation with him about, I went and saw the wedding planner, and he's playing his video game on the bed and doesn't even look at her while she's kind of like expressing concerns and like, let's have a conversation. And he makes the suggestion. Now, does he not know his wife? Do they not know each other?
Allison? Well, they don't know each other's favorite color, so I guess not.
That's true. Okay. Because he suggests, networking? Let me introduce you to my high school gal pal. Like this chick's gonna help with anything that she's trying to accomplish.
It was this whole thing was so weird. I can't. Julia is psychotic,
Yeah.
first of
Oh
all.
yeah.
I was
She's nuts.
like, what? Like, okay, so
Yes.
here's the thing. Like, I can't relate. I can't relate with this at all. I don't understand. Like, she is a very beautiful girl. She's married to Brandon. They are together. Like, she lives on his farm. They hang out. They can sleep in the same room now. Like, they are united. He clearly has an interest in her being here. He's paid all this money for her to be here. He is trying to help her get a green card. Why she is so threatened by somebody that she has never even met is like beyond me. And this was like, I really hope it was for the cameras. I really hope that she's not this way. But if she really is this way, she needs to go to counseling and like get past her insecurity issues, because it was wow.
Well, we saw a little bit of it on the tell-all, I felt.
Yeah,
You know, when
this
she's
was
like, don't get plastic surgery, go hit the gym. She's not in touch with reality. B&B?
Yeah, I don't think this was for the camera at all. I think she's actually this crazy and possessive, and yeah, there's some issues.
In her mind, she says, if a man has a female friend, that's okay. But if a man has a female friend, that doesn't work. But if a female has a male friend, that's okay. Well, it has to go both ways, because there's someone else in the picture potentially in every relationship. So it's a catch-22.
I'm wondering if it's a cultural thing.
Maybe, but she's basically saying, like, don't trust women. So Brandon should have looked at her and been like, well, should I trust you? Because you're basically,
you're
slandering your entire gender. So it was the strangest conversation. Who's more jealous and crazy, Angela, Julia, or Rebecca?
Julia.
Oh my.
That is a bucket full of just.
That's a Mount Rushmore. We need one more.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I'm sure there's more out there, but
Julia, I mean, she took it from, like, Brandon was like, I have a friend, from high school that you might like to hang out with. And like, honestly, like, it didn't really have anything to do with like wedding planning or like whatever, but he was like, that could be a start, I think, is what he said. Like, why don't you meet my friends? And it went from meet my friend Melanie from high school to Brandon and Melanie riding off into the sunset and leaving Julia on the farm with the pig. Like, that's what it went. It was like escalated, like, all of a sudden. And I was like, whoa, what happened here? I had whiplash. I was like, wait, whoa. Is she beautiful? I'm like, well, these are just no-win questions. Like,
his nervous laughter at that question was funny.
I mean, she is, like, from the preview, she's attractive. But
yeah, like, she's very cute.
Brandon is gonna, like, Brandon didn't marry Melanie, he married Julia. Like, there's gonna be attractive women that Brandon come across.
That's life.
Maybe Julia is threatened because of the parents being swingers. So, like, she thinks it's in his blood that he wants to, like, swing around with Melanie.
I mean, that's something that you should probably have discussed before you got married, but it's a valid point.
She's like, it's in his genetics that he, he's like a playboy, so she feels very threatened by it.
He got his mom's eyes and his parents' swinging gene.
I don't know. Is it hereditary? I have no idea.
I think so. I'm almost positive.
I mean, if you're brought up in that culture, it's probably going to be more normal, I would think.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So, and they seem very I don't know.
Next week does look good in terms of that kind of drama. I'm interested in seeing that.
Oh, we're going to be at that table. We're back at the table with Rebecca and Zied and
that young
Hannah.
girl.
Yes, and Hannah with the truck. We're going to relive that. It's going to go exactly like this. That is an insecurity thing on the woman at this point. So, and then he throws out, and you know what? I was a little surprised because Brandon's not usually sassy, but he got a little sassy. He's like, "Fine, I'll go out with Melanie without you." I'm surprised she didn't burn the house down. So that was.
I'm sure
that
she
was,
would love to burn the house down so she doesn't have to work in the fucking farm anymore.
I know,
That is
right?
also true. So I don't know. This was. She's just bored. I do feel bad because
I'm bored. I am bored watching her. I feel victimized by Julia.
there you
I
go.
feel boredom.
But you have to sit here and go, what did you expect? And I think was it Yara who said, like, Jovi, you didn't plan well enough for when I got here. What was he supposed to plan? Like
quit his job?
Make friends for her and have them at the ready? I don't know. I don't know what else these people could be doing. You should know when you're moving into a different country by yourself, even if it's to be with somebody, it's going to be a bit lonely. I don't know. So I guess I'm not patient and I'm unsympathetic, I guess is the bottom line. So what's new?
I'm just tired of them. Like it's been way too, like, we need a break from Julia and Brendan. Like we just rolled into this
It's too
season
much.
and
With
it's
quite a few of these cast members. So hopefully they're working on filming some new exciting people. So that's my hope. So yeah, we didn't have anyone off this week. So this was our full hour. I think we covered it all. Anyone want to add anything?
Lauren, I know you started watching The Single Life.
Well, I got Discovery Plus. I've not had a chance to really start it yet because it was actually sunny this weekend, so I spent all of my time outside. But the next time it rains, I will make sure to watch because I want to get caught up. And have they said if they're going to do another season?
I don't know. It is far better than this series.
Okay. I gotta watch so we can incorporate that. B&B, do you have it?
I didn't get it. When we were talking about it, I was like, oh, right after this, I'm gonna go sign up, and I just totally got sidetracked.
Yeah.
Typical.
I'm also tempted to try Little People Big World just so maybe Kirk will watch this and maybe he'll come on with us.
Oh,
so I've never watched it.
Oh yeah, I've watched every season of Little People Big World.
Really?
And it did premiere, and it was so like Wednesday nights or Tuesday, whatever, are like a treasure trove now because there's Siesta Key, there's The Hills, there's Little People Big World, there's like 5 shows that are on my DVR, and I'm like, what do I do first? Like
Real Housewives.
Yes, Real Housewives of New Jersey. Like it's
oh my goodness,
it's a treasure trove of programming. So
I do like that. I do like that plan though, Lauren.
I think that's a great idea.
Ooh, okay. Maybe
that might make me watch that show.
Invite them on.
Yeah, I've never watched it, but I'm like, man, I gotta start watching because I want to call in and talk about it, and maybe he'll come on. So
I mean, there's literally 22 seasons of Little People Big World. Like it starts when they're kids.
Can I just jump in though? Like I'm assuming if I just jump in, I can.
There is some history, but I am happy to fill you in.
Oh, good. We have or we can get Kirk to explain it to us. Like, be like, look, we're new here, so can you just give us the rundown? The Little People Big World.
All right, who's gonna ask him?
I'm scared of him, so
I'm also afraid. So
that's
gonna have to be a whole plan in of itself, but we'll work on it. Okay, I think we're done for the night. I'll get caught up on The Single Life, and we'll be back next week.
Sounds good. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.